Live. It is episode 85. I'm Maddie.
I'm Greg, and all together now,
we are live! As always, we have a fun-filled show for you. It is packed with activities, quizzes, games.
Sorry, wait a minute.
What's going on? What?
I'm really sorry about this, you lot, but in our excitement to go live, I think we've got a few little technical problems.
Oh,
I think we've forgotten to turn some things back on in the spare room studio.
Yeah, you're right. In our effort to save energy, we turned everything off before we went live today.
Yes.
Okay, how can I help? Is there anything I can do?
You find the plug for the main light.
Yeah.
I'll turn on the backlights.
Okay,
turn on the backlights.
Oh, pink, lovely.
Oh, let's go green. Let's go green.
Oh, very appropriate.
Green,
I can turn
perfect.
the main lights on. You lot, this might be bright, so cover your eyes for me a second. Main lights are going on right about now. There we go.
Oh, yeah, good job. Good job.
What else? How are those sound effects?
Sound effects. Let me check that I've got sound effects in. Sound effects are in.
Okay. Is there anything else? Anything else we can do at all?
Oh no, hang on.
What?
I also turned off super dramatic speech mode.
Super dramatic speech mode. Do you really think we'll need it?
Better to be safe than sorry.
Okay.
Should we turn it on?
Then. Yes. Okay. So it's just this switch here, isn't it?
That big switch over there. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay.
Give it
Here
a
you
go.
go.
Yeah. That's on. Woo, that's good.
Woo. Wow. Then we can turn it off again. Woo.
Okay. We might need it. We might not need it. It's all good.
Super dramatic speech mode is definitely working. I mean, you do never know when you're going to need a super dramatic speech.
I think everything is working.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we can officially begin the show. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you very much for bearing with us.
Yeah, I tell you what though, we are super lucky to have such easy access to all of this electricity that we can just plug in and power all of our stuff with just the simple flick of a switch.
Hang on. It is anything but easy and simple, I tell you. I mean, the electricity that we're using to do the show right here, right now, live, has been on quite the journey before it gets to us.
Oh, well, it is funny you should say that, Greg, because that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
What are the chances?
I know. Our friends at National Grid got in touch and they asked if we'd be up for chatting to you about the journey our electricity takes to get across the country, but also something else called net zero, which is an important step in caring for our planet.
Net zero.
Yeah, but don't worry if you haven't heard of it before, because today we're going to be discovering what net zero is. We've got a great activity planned for you. And it just involves coming together to help us all manage climate change.
Yeah, climate change is something that we've talked about a lot here on Let's Go Live before, right? We've already touched on some of the things that we can do to help manage it. It is a hugely important topic to us. So thank you very much, National Grid, for supporting us to chat a little bit more about it today.
They've also got an exciting new competition where they want to hear your ideas on what you would do if you were in charge to take better care of the planet.
The competition is really exciting. It's really easy to enter. We're going to give you all the details later on.
Yeah.
But basically, to get your thinking caps on, go on, pick them up, put them on, thinking caps on. Our question for you in the live chat today is this.
If you were in charge of the country, what would you do to look after the planet? So we'd love your responses in the live chat if you are watching live, and of course hello to everybody watching back later. But we'll read out as many of your ideas as possible as we can throughout this live stream.
Shall we kick off though with a few hellos?
Oh, I would love that.
Who is in the live chat
All
right now?
then.
Hello.
First of all, big hello to Year 3 at Woodcombe Junior School in Bath. Hello.
Hello you lot. Hello you lot.
Also, hello to Orchards Junior School, lovely to see you, and to Year 2 at St Julie's Primary School in St Helens.
We've got
hello, class.
Claude in Margate. Hello. We've got Katie at home.
We say hello to Grace in Burgess Hill. Hi.
We've got Zake, Alina, and Beth. Hello.
Hello to Daniel in Cottenham. Hi.
Evangeline in Sale. Hello.
Hello to Alexander in St Albans.
Benjamin and Amersham. Imagine there are hundreds of people
I was
watching.
going to say hello to Shavi and Ritvi who are watching in India as well. And we've also got Kai and Ruben in Ireland.
I also saw Malaysia earlier.
and Sophie and Phoebe in the USA.
Super cool. Hello,
Look at that
everyone
for an international
around the
show.
world.
How
That's
about that?
amazing. And of course, hello again to anyone who's watching back later. We love that you come and watch this back. Remember, our question for today is, if you were in charge of the country, what would you do to look after the planet?
Yeah. If you are watching with a teacher right now or a grown-up, make sure you get them to write your answers in the live chat for us.
Onwards. The first thing then today, our first question is, where does our electricity come from?
Well, for that, we kind of need to start at the beginning of electricity's journey. Where does it come from? Where does this part start?
Right, so electricity has to be generated, right? And that takes energy to do that. And the energy that we use to generate the electricity can either be renewable energy or non-renewable energy.
So we reckon that lots of you will have already heard of these two types of energy. In fact, some of you will even be able to shout out types of renewable and non-renewable energy. Go for it if you do know them. But if you don't, we're going to get us all up to speed with something we like to call a quiz.
If you're new here, it's the quiz bit of the show.
We like to do a quiz dance, because why not?
Okay.
So we called it a quiz, but really,
Stop having fun.
Because we are going to be testing our knowledge. But this is more of a game, I would say.
Yes.
It's a game with a catchy title we like to call
Energy Source Charades. Yes, now just like the game of charades, Maddie and I are going to act out different energy sources, okay? And you need to guess what they are.
We're not allowed to speak, but we can use hand gestures.
Yes.
And just to help us out, we've already got 2 hand gestures that we can use every time.
I'm ready.
So this here, nice, means renewable energy. And renewable energy is a type of energy that renews, meaning that it will get replaced.
And this hand gesture means non-renewable. It doesn't carry on.
Do it with us.
It doesn't renew.
Renewable. Non-renewable.
And non-renewable will run out. It will not be replaced.
So all the different types of energy have been written on pieces of paper that have gone inside the hard hat. And we're going to pick one out and perform one, and the other person's got to guess.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. So if you're ready, please play along. If you're watching, let's go with Energy Source Charades.
I can go first?
Yeah, why not?
Thanks so much. Okay, let's turn that down a bit.
That's it. What will he pick? Who knows? I didn't see. Okay, so that means it's a renewable source of energy. Yep. Okay, that's sort of like you're doing a disco move. Very good. You're swimming in the sea, and that's something that spins around. I'm leaving you because it's funny to watch, but that's definitely hydropower. Yeah?
Yes, correct. Hydro water. So it's the energy of moving water that's used to turn a turbine and generate electricity. Hydro is indeed renewable. Yes.
Great.
Great. We're off. Next.
Ooh, what have I picked out? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's another renewables.
Okay. Hang on, wait, I'm going to stand up.
You're doing exercise. Oh, it's wind.
So what?
Are they wind turbines?
Yeah! Wind turbines! Nice. So wind has loads of energy, which a wind turbine, you might have seen them up on top of hills or out of the sea. They capture and convert that energy into electricity.
Awesome.
Next. Oh, hang on, I've sort of lost it there. Go for it. What have you got? What have you got? What is it? Renewable energy again? You're really hot. Woo! You're blinded by the light because you are enjoying the energy that's coming from the sun. It's solar.
Yes.
I think at the end there, what were you? Was this you being a solar panel?
I was a solar panel. That's right. Career highlight as a solar panel. Yeah. So solar power is the energy. It's the sun's energy, solar energy, captured by a solar panel and used to generate electricity.
Okay, 3 renewable energies in a row. All right, so let's see what's coming next. You going for it?
Go.
Okay, some of them got stuck under the hat.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I've got one. Okay.
Oh, it's non-renewable. It's our first non-renewable.
I have to perform again.
Oh, great. Up she goes. Sorry.
Wait.
You're being a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a dinosaur underground. That's liquid? Gas? Oh, you're expanding, so you're a gas.
Yeah, I mean,
so you're
it's quite hard to be a
hang
gas.
on. So you are natural gas.
I am. Well done. So natural gas is a type of fossil fuel, and we burn it to release energy. And in the UK, we mostly use gas to heat our homes and for cooking.
That was so good.
I'm unnecessarily out of breath. For that.
It's very warm in it.
All right. Last one. Okay. What do you think it's going to be? Okay, go for it. You and the music. That is a non-renewable energy source. That's not a T-Rex. You're definitely some kind of dinosaur.
That's a tail, by the way, not like, yes.
Yeah. What else have we got? But the dinosaur is a goner. You're gone, and then over millions of years, Earth's and layers worth have compacted on top of you, which has turned you into a rock, which has turned you into another type of fossil fuel, coal.
Oh yes. That was fun. Yes, coal. Exactly. Yeah. Again, another type of fossil fuel made from dinos and stuff. Burnt in a power station. Yeah. To release the energy and get converted into electricity.
Well, that was fun for us. Just like to say, well done to Charlotte, Patrick, Zoe, Camilla, Rebecca, Isabel, Jen, for all of your correct answers.
So many correct answers coming in on the live chat. Well done, everyone watching back, I'm sure, yelling it out.
I reckon we should do a bit of a recap of all of those things that we've just covered.
So let's start with non-renewables then. Okay. So we had coal.
We did.
And we also had natural gas as well. We also have oil, but basically we've not been using oil in the UK for like the past year or plus. And all these are type of fossil fuels. Okay, so as we said, they're the ancient remains of dead plants and animals, hence the dinosaurs. And anything to do with dinosaurs, super cool. We love. However, as we mentioned on Let's Go Live before, there are some pretty serious problems with fossil fuels.
Yeah, burning fossil fuels creates carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. These build up in our atmosphere and they trap heat, and this warms the planet, which we call this global warming, and that leads to some pretty serious consequences and harmful climate change.
Patrick and Charlotte have said coal's made from trees, not dinosaurs.
Plants.
Might have got that one wrong. What happens in charades? You know,
what happens?
Okay,
we got the idea.
Onto renewables, though, right?
Okay.
Onto renewables, we had solar.
Nice.
We had hydro.
We did.
And we had wind as well. All right. So those are three of the renewable energy sources.
Yeah.
And they're called renewables because they're not going to run out. They come from natural sources.
Yeah, they're forces of nature. But also these are the ones that you've just pointed out. If I'm pointing in the right places, that one there, over there. They are clean sources of energy because they don't have to be burnt to make energy. This means they don't produce harmful carbon emissions that go into the atmosphere.
Exactly. Right, let's put these back in. Let's put these back in.
Yes, we've got this here. 2 seconds. Oh, there are 2 left in the bowl.
Oh, hang on, you lot. We're not done. We are not done.
Oops.
What have you got?
I have got... Interesting. I have got nuclear.
Okay.
What have you got?
I have got biomass.
Okay, right.
So let's talk about them.
Well, these are 2 other sources of energy that they just don't fit neatly into those 2 groups we've already been talking about.
So let's talk about nuclear first. This one on this shoulder. So nuclear energy is all about releasing the energy that's trapped inside the teeny weeny tiny things that make up our world, right? Our universe.
Yeah.
Atoms. And some of those atoms we say are radioactive. So basically you can chuck things at them and they break apart, and when they break apart, they release energy. So this can be done with special equipment in a nuclear power plant, right? They'll take these nuclear radioactive atoms, chuck stuff, release the energy. They'll use that energy to then generate electricity. They don't produce, nuclear power stations don't produce greenhouse gases. So we say that nuclear energy is clean.
Oh, brilliant. And the other one, which was just down here, this was biomass energy. And this is a type of energy you get from burning plants and trees that were planted specially for the job.
Yeah, and there's some other kind of stuff that's used for it as well.
Yeah, exactly. The ideal situation is that you can replant those trees and plants as quick as you burn them to get energy. But because we do have to burn them, this isn't a clean energy type. However, it is green because it's coming from natural resources.
Right, okay.
So they don't really really fit.
I see why those two don't kind of fit.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, these then, looking at all of these things on the screen, these are the biggest sources of energy that we have here in the UK.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, cool. Let me turn all of them off.
Great. Well, now we know where all of that energy comes from to generate electricity. Next, we want to find out how that electricity gets across the UK and to our homes. And this is where National Grid comes in.
Yes, so it's the job of National Grid to make sure that electricity is delivered safely across the country. And that is done with a load of pylons and cables. Here we go.
Pylons and cables.
Had fun making that one.
The problem, though, is that we didn't have any of these to hand. They're far too big.
No.
I mean, pylons, they're bigger than trees in most cases.
Yeah.
And the cables, they stretch for miles and miles. So they're a bit too big for the spare room studio. And also, it is very important never to play with electricity.
True.
So we've made a little something of our own instead.
Yeah. Here on Let's Go Live, we have made a door coaster on the spare room studio cupboard door. We've made a laser maze through the kitchen. But today, we want to present to you something completely different. We would like to present to you a water wall in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
Believe it or not, this water wall here, okay, is going to help us explain how electricity gets across the country to us.
Yeah, so what you're looking at right now is indeed recycled bottles. You've got some bits of pool noodle there, some paper cups and straws, and it's all been taped to our bathroom tiles with some electrical tape.
Yes. So the reason that we're explaining the journey of electricity using water is because electricity is a lot like water, right? Electricity moves in a current, so it flows just like water.
In fact, we can think of National Grid as a whole load of waterways that are specially designed to manage and deliver a constant flow of electric current across the country, which will eventually get to our homes, schools, and all the other buildings.
Maddie?
Yep.
Is it time for me to go to the bathroom?
I think so.
And see if this water wall actually works or not.
You head over
and
to
how much mess it makes.
You head over to the... I think things are about to get a little bit soggy, which means I'm moving over to the hot seat, which rarely happens here on Let's Go Live. Here we go. Let's see how Greg is doing, shall we? Greg, are you with us?
Hi.
There you are. We can all hear you as well. Look at you. You've got your high vis on. Is that because you're an engineer?
Well, I've got to do an important job of delivering electricity to the nation, right?
Okay. In that case, I would like you to tell us where does this journey of electricity start?
Okay, so first things first, the electricity needs to be generated. And that might be by burning non-renewable sources of energy, fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, or it could come from the renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, water, hydropower. I've got some cups of water here. These are going to represent the electricity generated from those sources. Red for non-renewable sources, green for renewable sources, and soon I am going to pour them in to the top of this system.
Okay, so Greg is going to be pouring that newly generated electricity into the National Grid. And the first place where that electricity will go is a little power station or a substation that we call a step-up transformer. In fact, let's go to the tight shot here so we can see it. There we go. The step-up transformer's job is to increase the oomph of that flow of electricity. That's how fast and how powerful it's flowing along. I mean, it needs that power to travel right across the country. And National Grid, they want this part of the journey to be quick, efficient, and waste as little time as possible. Isn't that right, Gregs?
That is exactly right, Mads. Yes, welcome back to the bathroom studio. So it doesn't matter really what goes in the top, but it's all going to be mixed together once it gets into this system. And you're going to see that when it gets in there, and it's going to be given that oomph by that step-up transformer. As Maddie said, it's going to be given that pressure, almost that oomph, to get across the country, all the way through the pylons and the cables, and hopefully to the next stage, which is, Maddie?
Well, the next part, actually, let me tell you about this. Is once it's travelled those long distances and it's getting close to your house, at this point it visits another substation. This time, the power of that current needs to be dialed down a little bit, and we call this a step down transformer. Greg, tell us a bit more about the step down transformer.
So here is the step down transformer. So electricity has been flowing with a lot of oomph, a lot of pressure to get it safely across the country. When it gets near your home or your school or other buildings, it reaches this step down transformer. And what that does is it takes the really high pressure and it lowers it down. Think of it like a big river turning into...
Well, if we think of that gentle stream, that's what Greg was just saying there, the national grid will then pass that gentle stream of electric current to another company, and that company will then bring it to your home via a series of smaller power cables that will then go into your homes and other buildings. Or in our case, we're actually using straws, which Greg can show you just here.
Here they are, going down to an array of different buildings. So yeah, that's how it hopefully is going to work. That's how it works in reality. How's it going to work live? The first time we've ever tried it here in the bathroom.
Okay, Greg, are you ready to pour some newly generated electricity into our water wall model of the national grid?
I so am. So this is how the electricity gets safely transported around the country thanks to National Grid and then transported to your homes, okay? We're going to
hang on, I'm going to get rid of me for this.
At the top.
All right, we're straight over to you. I'm going to say ready, steady, pour, and then you're going to pour it in. All right?
Sure.
Ready, steady, pour.
Okay, so loads goes in from coal, loads goes in from wind, dripping a little bit from solar, a little bit from hydro. Look at it, it's all mixes together, gets into the main system here. The step up gives it a lot of oomph, gives it loads of oomph, down through the pylons and the cables, and then it gets to the home, and then the step down transformer slows the whole thing down, gives it less oomph. Let's pour some more in the top. Actually, whoa, we get about 40%.
Greg, move your body a little bit so we can see what's happening. You're blocking us.
A little bit from solar. And it's all mixed together. This is working so well, buddy. Quick, get closer. It's all gone down. It's gone down. It's gone down. It's gone into the step down transformer, and then safe, nice, slow drip into the houses. Exactly what we want. I mean, a bit of mess, but that's perfect. Great. Woo!
Wowzers! So there you go. That was our water wall model of National Grid. Greg will come back now from the bathroom to join us in here. Well, that was a giggle. I think we could sort of get the idea. We could sort of see how water was flowing through the various tubes and bits and pieces. You happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Here he is, but you can take the hot seat again.
I'm happy with that.
There you go. We couldn't see the water flowing quite so well, but we did see it fall into the step down transformer at the very end.
Oh, well, you saw it come in from the various sources. And
Yeah,
it
we
all
could
got
on one
mixed
side.
up.
Yeah, definitely.
And the step up then kind of collected it all and it shot out really fast.
Yeah.
Went down the pipe.
Yeah.
Then collected in that step down and then came out slowly down the little pipes into the
Brilliant.
various buildings. I'm so
Brilliant.
happy with that.
Yay!
To be fair.
Good, because you are, that's the whole point. And actually, making a water wall is really good fun, regardless of whether you're trying to make a model of National Grid or not, because it's just a fun engineering challenge.
Yeah, it sure is. We made ours in the bathroom. If you want to try yours, then you can make one maybe outside on a fence or a wall, if you own said fence or wall.
Yeah, the weather was a bit unreliable, so we decided to do it in the bathroom. Just make sure you've got permission from a grown-up before you go sticking recycling to any surfaces. Please.
Recycling, tape, water, and a lot of creativity and tinkering time.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So,
before we move on to net zero and we discover what that is, let's read out some of your comments from the live chat.
All right then, so remember, we asked you, if you were in charge of the country, what would you do to look after the planet? So I wonder what you've been saying. Well, I can tell you. Interesting. Noah would make a single-use plastic ban throughout the country. And we do know that the making of plastic does lead to carbon emissions.
Yeah, and it does ultimately normally come from fossil fuel base.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that could be useful
this one's
later.
Cool. Shavi and Rutvi say they'd arrange planting programs.
Planting programs.
Yeah,
Nice.
I guess, yeah, that's cool.
Well, Ina says that she would plant lots more trees, so similar thing there. Fiona and Seren, they say they would make sure everybody will switch off the lights when they're not using them. Yes, so we don't want to be using energy if we don't need to be.
Someone else reminding you to never touch pylons. In fact, never touch anything that's got electricity unless you know it's safe.
Which is why we made our pylon power cables out of pool noodles.
Yeah.
Alina says they would make more electric charging stations for cars.
Ooh.
Yes, Alina, I'm with you there. Wouldn't that be nice?
These are great. I think we can use some of these in our next section.
Well, I do.
You lot are awesome. Keep them coming in if you're watching live, and if you are watching back, hello, keep yelling them out.
And actually, lots of these are leading us on to our next question, and that is, what is net zero?
What is net zero?
How will net zero help the planet?
How will it help the planet?
Well, you tell me.
Put simply, net zero is the balance, right, between the amount of greenhouse gases that we are putting into the atmosphere and the amount of greenhouse gases that are taken out of the atmosphere. We reach net zero when it's the same amount out as pulled back
coming back in.
Yeah.
The real question though is, how do we achieve net zero and why does that matter?
Such an important question. So we have mentioned already that we are using non-renewable energy sources, fossil fuels, okay? We've been burning them in factories for years and we've been using them to power our lives.
And we've also mentioned that this creates a really big problem because burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, these build up in our atmosphere, this traps heat, and that leads to harmful global warming. Yeah. We've been burning fossil fuels for energy since the 1800s.
That's a long time.
And since then, global average temperatures have risen quicker than ever before.
Yeah, and sadly this has contributed to rapid continued climate change, right? That has caused and is still causing a number of serious issues: extreme weather, floods, droughts, melting sea ice, rising sea levels.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about climate change though, we have made 2 special climate episodes in the past where we go into all of this in way more detail. So we've put some links to those shows in the description box below if you want to catch up. But now, to help us think about how we can reach net zero, that's where we get to a point where the amount of greenhouse gases we are putting into the atmosphere is the same as the amount of carbon dioxide being taken out of the atmosphere. We have created something to help, and that is a net zero scale.
Yes. Should we bring on the net zero scale?
We'd love your help with it.
Okay, here it comes, here it comes. Some funky music.
Yes, please.
For the entrance of the net zero scale. Here she comes. We should say it's not just carbon dioxide that is a greenhouse gas. There are a whole bunch of different ones. So net zero is the same amount of greenhouse gases going up as pulled back. Here it is. Okay, love it. Love it. Should we have a little...
I'm squishing in.
You squeeze in.
All right then.
Should we have a little look at what is going on this scale? You can already see there that the scale is tipped
very
to
much
one
so.
side. Let's get this on the close-up camera. There it is. Should we have a look at what's going on?
Yeah, so this scale is currently showing where we're at right now, isn't it? So this side over here is showing us the greenhouse gases that we are releasing into the atmosphere. And this side over here is showing us greenhouse gases that are being taken out of the atmosphere. Things are looking pretty unbalanced.
And to reach net zero, we need to tip the scale to get them balanced so that we've got the same amount of greenhouse gases being released as being pulled back, absorbed from the atmosphere. Well, you can see
we've got a couple of different blocks here. So let's take a closer look at these blocks. The blocks on this side, they represent greenhouse gases being put into the atmosphere because of some kind of human activity. First up, these blocks, these are greenhouse gases being released because of food production. We've used a cow just because cow farming is particularly bad because they burp out lots of methane, which is a type of gas. These blocks here, they represent greenhouse gases released from transport. So this is planes and cars that are using diesel and petrol as fossil fuels for energy. We've got some other blocks. These blocks here, these are representing the greenhouse gases being released from power stations that are burning fossil fuels to create energy to power everything that we have and do. And then lastly, this is stuff. We all have a lot of stuff, clothes, toys, bits around the house, and all of that has to be made in factories, and those factories are using, might be burning fossil fuels for energy.
Yeah.
So all of that is human activity.
Whereas on this side,
Yeah.
we have got some of the ways that greenhouse gases, right, especially carbon dioxide, are being removed from the atmosphere. So let's have a look at what we've got here. First of all, we've got trees. Trees take in carbon dioxide. They actually use it to build themselves bigger and taller. They convert that carbon dioxide to oxygen that we breathe. So cheers, trees.
Thanks, trees.
Thanks, trees. And also in there we've got the oceans. So the ocean actually absorbs lots of carbon dioxide. The ocean is brilliant. Like actually the ocean has totally got our back and it is absorbing a lot of carbon dioxide and a lot of heat as well.
Yeah, we're not doing it any favours. So our goal is to tip the scales like that so we can reach net zero, but even move beyond it. That's the future dream. And there are a couple of ways we can do that. First, we have to stop producing as many greenhouse gases as we currently are. We need to lower our greenhouse gas emissions. Yeah. We also need to make sure we don't introduce any new greenhouse gas emissions. So nothing more than we're already doing.
Good point.
And the last thing is that we need to find ways that we can help absorb those carbon emissions from the atmosphere. And we need to change the way we're currently doing things to make those things possible.
Loads of suggestions are still coming in from the live chat. So why don't we use some of this lot's suggestions and see if we can get this to net zero.
Oh, this is exciting.
You lot are smashing it in the live chat, and I'm sure you lot watching back are yelling lots of things out as well.
All right, I'm having a look
Sarah
now.
suggests
that
we stop burning so much fossil fuel and switch to more renewable energy sources.
That is a really good idea. So for that, I'm actually going to take some blocks. Oops, just drop my scales. For that, I'm going to take a couple of blocks away from this. So if we switch from burning fossil fuels to renewable sources of energy, then we can lower those emissions. Nice.
And in fact, National Grid is working hard to help replace some of these carbon-intensive energy sources with clean, green, and more renewables as well.
Zoe has said we should ride bikes more, but somebody also said, Alina she said we should switch to electric cars and have more electric charging stations.
Yes.
Which is a great idea. So you're going to take some blocks off?
Yeah, let's take 2 of these off. The emissions created from gas-guzzling cars.
Exactly, because if we switch to electric cars, we are going to be releasing fewer emissions from transport. So that's why we're taking the blocks away. What else have we got?
Erin and Cora say, we need more trees, and all of the tree emojis. Lots of you saying trees.
And
so that's a really good one, because that's one we can add to this side, because they absorb that carbon dioxide. So chuck me some more blocks for some trees.
So we're not taking blocks away. This time we are adding to the side of the scale, which is about taking carbon out of the atmosphere.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, how are we looking? Good. Is this looking more balanced, everyone?
It's a little bit better.
I think we can do more, don't you?
Oh, I've got one from Mrs. Jones's class.
Yes.
Says we should try to reuse and recycle our things.
Well, I tell you what, Tony also says that we should have more recycling facilities, which is a really good one. And that's true, actually, because if we work to reuse and recycle our things more, we buy less stuff. That means factories won't need to be producing as much. So you're taking a couple of blocks from that side as well.
Yeah, so that means that's less greenhouse gases released up into the atmosphere.
I tell you what, this food production pile is still looking pretty high.
Yeah.
Has anyone made any suggestions?
Fifi and Miranda said, don't eat cow.
Don't eat cow.
Oh, they changed it to don't eat meat.
Don't eat meat. Well, here's the thing. I think that eating less meat or even changing your diet slightly will help to reduce carbon emissions, because food production is a huge source of carbon emissions, and we did mention that cattle farming is particularly bad for that.
Okay.
Hey, hang on.
Oh, that is good work.
Well
that
done.
Has got much closer. We're still a little bit like this.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks on this side. We've only got 3 blocks on this side.
Okay, so we've got to go even further to reach net zero.
Yeah.
We need to make sure the 2 sides are balanced, or even tipped, actually, in this way, taking more out than is going in.
Well, we've already added planting more trees, which is fantastic. But actually, something else we can do, we might not be able to add more ocean, but we can improve the health of the ocean, and it can work harder for us, or we can work harder together by not just planting greenery on land, but planting greenery in the water as well.
Yes.
So I would like to introduce more seaweed farming or algae and kelp farms, because just like plants on land, they use carbon dioxide to create their own energy. So we can put this over here on this side, and what that seaweed farms do, they act as a bit of a sink. They help to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And the best thing about seaweed, not only, I'm a bit of a seaweed fan, is that not only does it help to absorb carbon dioxide, you can also eat it, food source, and you can turn it into packaging.
You can.
Pretty good.
How cool is seaweed?
I'm into
kelp.
it.
Yes.
I'm into kelp.
I think we need another one on this side. And I'm going to go for this grey block because that's going to represent science and technology, right? Because science and technology are coming up with all sorts of different ideas.
Yeah.
This is one that represents carbon dioxide being trapped and then like buried but locked underground.
Yeah.
It's called carbon sequestration.
So it's a new type of technology, man-made, or human-made, I should say, technology. What have you done?
We've done it.
We've done it. We've got 5 blocks on each side.
Hang on, let me pull it this way a bit.
Way!
We've reached net zero!
Well done. So after making all of those changes, we have tipped the scale to reach net zero. However, I think we can do better than this.
Yeah.
Because I would like to say, here we go. Someone has been saying that we should put more solar panels on houses and buildings.
Great.
So I think if we were to do that, maybe we could move away from burning fossil fuels and just go to renewables. So I'm going to take away that final block there.
Oof.
Taking it away.
And also, lots of people saying, oh, maybe I'll try to eat less meat. Right? Don't need to completely, I mean, you can cut it out completely, ace, but some people can just stop eating it like one day a week. People saying that in the chat. I'm going to take another one of them away.
This is exciting because Rocket Class have suggested more electric cars as well. So why not? Let's take that one away. There we go.
What? No more diesel or petrol cars. Brilliant.
No.
Hey, and now look at this.
I'm going to add another seaweed farm.
Because
Why
you
not?
love seaweed.
Because the good thing about seaweed, you can, any shoreline pretty much it'll grow along. Done.
Look at that.
And just one more. Bethany says we need to produce new things and reuse more of our old things.
Yeah.
Good point. We're reusing it. We need to make less of that. We still need to eat, so let's leave one for food production. We've done it! High five, you lot.
Wow, you lot. That was so good. You could have a go at making your own net zero scale. All you need is, well, we used a coat hanger and some string, and these were like
plant pot trays.
Plant pot trays, yeah. But you could use whatever you want. I mean, get creative. We know what you lot are like.
Paper cups work really well, and you can just hang it off any door handle. That'll work as well.
Shall we do an awkward selfie with this?
I think we should.
Okay, if you're new here, we always take an awkward selfie with the show. Should have told you, this is us on the social medias, at Maddie Moat, at Greg Foot, hashtag Let's Go Live. We're going to do a photo opportunity and then you can share it with us. Deal? Brilliant. Okay, cool.
Are we doing it with the scales already tipped?
Yeah, I think
we should do, shouldn't
I think we should,
I'm going behind it.
Okay, I'll try to go behind it as well. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, you lot. Okay,
wow, this is awkward.
Where's the camera? Oh, it's there. Okay, all right. You ready?
Nope, not even slightly. There we go.
She's there. Okay, hang on. Let's make sure it's facing you.
How about that?
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
It's the awkward selfie.
The net zero selfie. Okay, bro. Switch back to that camera.
I'm stuck.
You all right? Hang on, I'll move the scale out of the way.
Thank you.
You've got to take the scale off, actually.
All right.
Go on.
Let me do that then. Let me do that. Excuse me, scale. Come this way. Come this way. Thank you.
Just thought it'd be fun to give you some music as you went out. Oh, right, okay.
That was exciting.
Let's take a breather. Let's take a breather. It's fair to say that tackling climate change is one of the biggest challenges that we are all currently facing, right? Yeah. And this switching to cleaner energy sources, that's a massive part of that.
Yeah. The UK has a goal to reach net zero by 2050, the year 2050, and National Grid are doing their bit to ensure that happens.
Yeah, in November this year, there's going to be a huge climate change conference. It's called COP26.
Here it is. COP stands for Conference of Parties, and world leaders from countries all over the globe are going to be gathering together to talk about the work we can all do to help manage climate change.
Yeah, it's a super important event because if we're going to meet our net zero goals, we need to all work together.
We really do.
Yeah. National Grid is one of the principal partners of COP26, and they want to use the opportunity to make sure that you have your voices heard.
We mentioned earlier that they have a competition for you. So today we have asked you that question, which you've already offered some incredible answers to. And that question was, if you were in charge of the country, what would you do to help solve climate change and look after the planet?
National Grid is asking you that very same question, and they want to hear your hopes for a greener, more sustainable future. To enter the competition, all you need to do is you need to write down your thoughts in 200 words or less. Okay, you need to enter them on a website. Here goes, best I can do. But the link is also in the video description.
Yeah.
Okay, so the link is in the video description below, as are all the T's and C's.
Yeah, so make sure a grown-up gives them a read before you enter. The exciting thing, though, is that the lucky winners will be invited to create a short speech with a professional video team who will then turn their ideas into a film that will be shown at COP26 in front of world leaders.
That's super cool.
Isn't that cool?
That is super cool. So again, just to remind you, all the details on how to enter, they're in the description box below for you and your teachers.
I would love the chance. Oh, it'd be nerve-wracking, but it would be great to be able to speak to world leaders and tell them
awesome.
about the things we really care about.
What would we say? If we had 200 words, what would we put in our speech?
Oh, I'm sure we could come up with something. Don't you think?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking and they're thinking?
Is it finally time for super dramatic speech mode?
Is it? I think it's time for super dramatic speech mode.
Oh, we knew this would come in handy.
Didn't we just? Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Do it. Whoa! Whoa!
It's dramatic. Wow. Ready for the speech?
Could we? Hang on.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit too dramatic?
Maybe we should ease it back a little bit.
Maybe a little bit too dramatic.
All right, okay.
Okay, all right, here we go.
That's better. Nice. Dear world leaders.
I am Greg Foot.
And I, Maddie Moat.
We're very honoured to speak to you.
Yeah, the people who are in position to make the big changes we cannot.
Yeah, absolutely. So here is our 200-word speech.
We humans need to clean up our act, not just for ourselves, but for every living thing on the planet, now and in the future. We are the Earth's caretakers, and we have to do a better job.
Yeah, absolutely. If we were in your shoes, then we would protect our woodlands, we would protect our wildflower meadows. Trees, they're our allies in fighting climate change. And our native flowers, they are food for our really important pollinators.
Like the bees.
Yeah, without them, 1/3 of all food would struggle to grow.
We would also like to encourage a new industry of seagrass and seaweed farming to provide not only jobs, but also precious carbon sinks, because like trees, seagrasses help to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is something we all need to do if we're going to reach net zero.
And we need to move away from dirty fossil fuels and instead use clean sources of renewable energy sooner rather than later. Let's put solar panels on new homes. Let's help people properly insulate their houses to stop the heat escaping, and let's clean up our air.
We need you to make the big changes so we can all do our small part together to protect our precious planet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to our speech.
Thank you for listening to our speech.
Ooh, I'm going to turn dramatic, super dramatic.
Turn that off. Oh, whoops, I pressed the smoke again. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops.
Wow, that was dramatic.
That was dramatic. So you've heard what we might say at COP26 if we were given the chance, but we know that the Let's Go Live audience is absolutely amazing. We know you've got something probably even better than that. Right, so please go enter the competition.
Yeah.
As I said, link in the video description.
There it is again. There.
Yeah.
Before we head off today, though, we would love to give you all a final shout out and hear some more of what you have to say about caring for the planet. And here we go. Let's listen to some.
Time.
So Fifi and Miranda would encourage more compost bins. We didn't mention compost bins. That's great because food waste is a big source of carbon emissions. Yeah. So composting locally, good plan.
Thanks, Jen, who says, please someone put Maddie and Greg in charge.
Did you see our water wall?
There are better qualified people than us, absolutely.
Natalie says we should grow more food in our garden if you do have one, or you could go to an allotment, or maybe some community gardening as well. Joff says would like to promote walking and cycling on short journeys. Nice one, Joff. And Lex says we need to look after the whales. Wait for it, because plankton can absorb carbon dioxide. Fact bomb for Lex.
It's the first fact bomb from the show.
So we were talking about how oceans are our allies, and part of the reason for that is because of these microorganisms, plankton, that live in the seas. So you're right. Well
Thank
done.
you lot so much. I guess we should probably say goodbye.
Yeah, that does bring us to the end of the show. And we'd like to say thank you again to National Grid for supporting us today.
Yeah, remember, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do click the little subscribe button.
But we will keep you updated for our upcoming Let's Go Live shows. However, until
then,
stay curious.
Bye! Bye!